This episode of Fight Stories is brought to you by Absolute Nature CBD. Nature perfected, 100% natural CBD oil and CBD oil products for the mind, body, and your dick. Go to AbsoluteNatureCBD.com. Type in the promo code Goon Squad. Get an exclusive 20% Fight Stories discount.
Oh, Cedric Newman.
Uh-oh.
Holy
Cedric
shit.
Newman.
Wearing the pink. Damn. That's how your head looks like how it looks like when it bangs a girl.
Come on
Look
in.
at this guy. What's up, brother? How you doing? I heard you have a new room.
Huh?
Ernie tells me you have a new good room.
Oh, she didn't pay the bill.
Oh, shit. So it's done.
Wicked, too. Oh, it was good.
How's it going, Max?
You want to grab him a chair, pull it around? Yeah, man. So, there's a story I wanted to ask you about because I think you were the one that told me about it. Maybe you were opening for Wilmot. Was it down in London?
Yeah, this is in Cornwall.
Oh, Cornwall.
Yeah, so we do a show in this place. Oh, fuck, it was horrible. I'm supposed to do 15 to open. I don't even close to 5.
Yeah.
So Mike Wilmot's trying to give me material in the car, 10 minutes of material. He's like, just memorize this because I can't. You have to do your time. I do 3 minutes and bring him up, and he's so pissed. Like, he goes, "You asshole!" And he goes up. He has to do an hour and 15 minutes now, right? Because he had to do an hour, then he had to do my time.
Well, that's a long time, man.
25 years ago.
Yeah, 22. And so this guy's heckling Mike throughout the night, and Mike, it's called Freddy's. The place is called Freddy's, and Mike just destroys him, like constantly throughout the thing. You don't even kick him out, it's just like at this point,
You just let this guy be an asshole the whole show.
At some point, you should kick a person out because that's what they want. They want the attention, good or bad.
Yeah.
They want it to be about them. No, you don't deserve that.
No.
Get the fuck out. So Mike makes it about him.
Exactly.
Tries to get his material, never works. It's an hour on this fucking dude.
Yeah.
He's happy. At the end of the show, we go on our cigarettes. This guy comes up with his friends. His friends were like, "That was amazing. You destroyed my friend." And after the guy is like, starts losing it on Mike, right? And he looks at me. He starts making fun of him more. His friends even laugh more. Guy gets angrier. Mark gets funnier. It's just like you keep going. You're losing more of this battle. And after the guy, Mike looks at me, and goes, "Louder doesn't mean funnier, kid." And everybody's laughing more. And right then he's like, "Ah!" Mike's like looking in the bushes.
Mike's not a fighter, right?
No.
So
and I tackle him. Right, and I put him in a choke, and I choke him out. And Mike is oblivious to this. Right, he's like drunk, and then after that, I take him in the car, and he goes, "What's that guy doing on the ground?" I'm like, "He tried to punch you." I was like, "What?" And I bring him to the hotel room, and then after that, he kind of goes, he remembers like the guy, and he remembers. He goes, "I don't remember him trying to hit me at all, but I remember he was on the ground."
Yeah.
I go, "Yeah, he tried to punch you." So I had to take him out. But at that time, I was 23 or whatever, but I was literally fighting underground matches and whatever, but I mean, it was fine for me. I actually enjoyed it. Because I was, also when you're young, you're dumb, so you're like, "Oh, I don't see dangers."
That's right.
My body can take it.
You feel like invincible at that age.
Oh, man.
Yeah. That's so fun.
Yeah, it's like you. Do you bang the same way you used to 20 years ago? It's different, right?
I can go hard.
Yeah, but it's
I'm like Tyson. I'm like one good round now.
Yeah.
I used to go many rounds.
And you probably don't shoot as far. You probably don't shoot as far as you did.
No.
Yeah.
Tyson, one good round now. That's it.
Yeah, because this guy used to bang 10 hours straight.
Oh yeah. I was an animal.
I used to be
an Iron Man.
I used to be we used to do tours a lot, and we'd go to Newfoundland or whatever, and we used to stay in a house condo or whatever.
Yeah.
They always bring a different whore in. And then sometimes they would run out of the room screaming.
They weren't literally whores. They were nice girls that wanted to come over for the night. It wasn't like I was paying them.
No, they were whores. And and then they'd run around and come back. And then he had this big girl one time. She was older, she's 50. She'd pick us up. She had money, so she'd give us passes to the gym.
She's probably listening right now.
And then after that, she's like, "Oh yeah, that's my." She's like, he had to deal with her. And then after we went to a club, and after he was like, "Hey, tell whatever her name is, who cares?" It was like the big girl. He's like, "I just went back."
She just texted me right now.
Why are you still rolling with that? She's 60 now.
They're friends. 58.
And then
Friends forever.
So he brings his girl back, and she's perfect except no two front teeth. Just one girl.
How do you remember all this?
I remember the stupidest shit ever. I remember when you took out you wore a thong on Nubian night.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember you used to wear
It's an intervention, Cedric.
I remember you used to wear white pants, and then
I did a joke. What's the difference in G-string and a thong? And I asked the crowd, and I go. Somebody goes, "I thought this has a triangle." I go, "Which one is this?" And I pulled down my pants, and I had Nubian. I could have been killed, bro.
Yeah, but it was crazy. And then so the big girl was knocking on the door while he's in the room with another girl. And after I let her in, and she loses, she runs in, and she fucking kicks down the door, and this girl's running around, and he's running around with his dick hard. And he's laughing while he's getting hit. Just stupid shit.
Oh, that was Newfoundland, wasn't it?
Yeah. I remember he was in.
I thought what happens in Newfoundland stays in Newfoundland.
No, that's Vegas.
Wait till you hear about Kingston last week.
That's the STDs. What happens in your dick stays in your dick.
I've been lucky I haven't caught anything. Knock on wood. Russian roulette with my cock.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
But you never had any physical fights with anybody there?
No.
Yeah, you're not a fighter.
No. I can protect myself, but I'm not a... I could go. I know how to diffuse a situation.
He creates trouble around him, and then
I could light the firecracker and then take off.
You're 50 now.
48 on last Monday. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Crazy. I've known him for 20 years.
Yeah. Well, you guys have been at it for a while, eh?
Yeah, he started. Him and JP was been longer than you.
JP started 89 with Russell.
Yeah, I've been touring with Quiggs. Quiggs been around 28 years. 20. Wow, time flies, man. What you said? You're 10, 11,
17.
Holy shit!
Yeah. So I started in 2002. At the end of 2002.
Unreal.
So yeah,
how long you been there?
Last weekend,
almost 4 years. So I'm pretty fucking new.
I do have a bit. How
many girls have you think you've been with?
Ooh, quite a bit.
Would you say
I've had
1,000?
No, less than that.
He's a ladies' man, though.
500. 6. I was
probably under five. Because a lot of them, I recycle. I don't go. I don't really, because I was never that guy that goes to clubs, pick up and fight. Like if I'm out after a show or if they pick me up, I don't go. Yeah, but he sees how they fucking. I smile and it.
Yeah, he used to be good looking though. That's how you used to get them.
This is the Kauai, bro.
At the casino, in Kingston, you're wheeling the girl working the.
Yeah, he saw me in action, bro.
Yeah.
We all have.
Smooth, yeah.
They love him.
Yeah. I was never like that though. I was not that dude.
You were quiet, but
I always had. I would always have something. Mm-hmm. But I would never bring them out. Like I always quiet. I always dated a girl that had a friend that banged him. So I remember us girls Jeanette was dating. Yeah. She's really hot.
6 Degrees of Cedric Newman.
Do you remember Jeanette?
Of course I remember Jeanette.
And her friend?
Yeah, actually I asked Reggie about that. Yeah, she was with 3 firemen, but she only banged the one, but she was with 3 of them.
Yeah, because Jeanette told me the story. She banged the fireman.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
and then he used to see me as like, "Oh, you're dating Jeanette." He's like, "Yeah, you got the hot one, I got the big one." He likes his big girls.
That's so funny.
But Jeanette was one of those girls that would. She used to booty call like actual basketball players.
She tried to be a comedian. She wasn't funny though.
She wasn't funny, but
you actually made her a little funnier.
I try to help her, but it has to be. This is an individual sport.
Yeah.
This is not something that you help somebody.
You got to put in your time. There's no way around this.
I can help people get spots, but I can't do more than that.
You can give someone a little bit of advice that might let them take a shortcut, but they won't notice until it happens. You know what I mean? Like you could have. There's stuff that I could tell you that if you're a young comic that avoid this and you'll thank me. Like it'll maybe save you some headache, but you won't realize until after maybe you've done it.
Yeah.
Like you still have to figure it out.
I always tell people is you can't buy experience.
No.
And the other thing is too. I remember. You remember John Avery? I don't know where this guy disappeared to. He's a
I remember John. Yeah.
Yeah,
Where
John
did he
was
go?
getting pretty funny.
He played for Miami Dolphins too, right?
Yeah, and then he came one with the Argos, and he used to open for me sometimes. And so we had a gig out in Brampton, and I go. So John opened for me. He did a good. He said, "You guys want to see John's Grey Cup ring?" Everyone's like, "Yeah." I go, "It's at the pawn shop on Rutherford." All I heard from the back was, "Fuck you, nigga." Oh man.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a hard thing. You got to keep doing it.
You guys kind of came up in the same era of stand up in Canada, right?
I was like before you for like 2-3 years. I think.
Yeah. But you were seasoned. Well, I wouldn't.
I was up every night, man. Like two nights, 2 days. Two nights.
So you guys,
Two shows a night.
did you guys see any good comedy scraps back in the day? That
Russell versus Jazz.
Can you tell that story?
Yeah.
So I'd love to hear the story. Russell Peters.
Russell couldn't fight.
Yeah, Russell was a boxer for 8-9 years, and then now he does Jiu Jitsu. He's an old guy. I don't think he's going to fight any. He actually knocked out some dude that he had to pay him $60,000 in Laugh Factory.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this guy kept heckling Russell throughout the thing. But you could tell this guy just wanted the money. Like he was like, hit me, boom. Just like, all right, good.
So Russell punches out a heckler.
Punched out a heckler. He just kept going and outside. Already, the show's done. We're outside.
Yeah.
I was there. He was outside. Then all of a sudden, the guy kept going, and and then so the Jazz one. So when Russell blew, Russell was
He already blown up.
No, he just did.
Yeah.
What happened was he was supposed to host this Indian awards ceremony thing. It was the biggest, it's like a gala.
Yeah.
And then after he blows up, so he can't do it. So Jazz takes it, right? So Jazz is now hosting this gala, and then he starts making fun of Russell, saying, I'm here for you guys. Russell Peters is not, blah, 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 blah. It gets back to Russell, obviously, right?
Yeah,
so Jazz is on the show with me, Welby Santos. You could have been there. Were you there at the fight?
I was. It was that Nubian show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were there?
Yeah, I was there.
So
I love this.
It wasn't much of a fight. It didn't last very long.
Kenny Robinson's Nubian show, legendary show in Toronto.
I say it the way I see it. Everybody goes, Ron, you over-exaggerate. I go, no, this is how I fucking saw it. So John Paul is one of the coolest dudes you'll ever meet, right?
Yeah.
And he's an instigator without
I doubt.
You can't tell him. I mean, he can't. He doesn't show it, but he instigates shit.
Yeah. Okay. Remember in school? Remember in school when that one guy goes, "Wait till after school." JP was that guy would go around the hallway before 5 to 3. It's happened.
He's the hype man.
Totally. So I'm there. I'm watching the show. Someone's on stage. Russell comes in. His girlfriend and his mom in the car outside of Yuck Yucks, right? And he comes in. He's like, "Fuck is Jazz?" And then John Paul's
Russell
like,
Peters.
"Yeah." He's upstairs. Why? He's like, "I'm gonna fucking knock him out." And John's like, "Ha ha ha. Yeah, you talk shit. You're gonna knock out shit." So what?
Go to the fire.
Whoa. And I go. He's like, "Ron, where you going?" I'm gonna go. I'm going upstairs, right? Get some chicken wings because free chicken wings.
Yeah.
And after he goes, "Tell Jazz to come down." Okay. So I go up. I go, "Jazz." Is like, "What?" And he goes, "What's up?" I go, "Yo, Russell's downstairs. He wants to talk to you." He's pissed. He's like, "Fuck this guy."
Yeah, he chirped. And he chirped him when he came down too. I
Can you
think.
get Heineken? Yeah. So down the stairs, right? It's kind of this weird. It's like Yuck Yucks.
Yeah.
And so
it's like a thin corridor to come down the stairwell. Yeah.
And this is the downtown, the same one today. Steve, the doorman, is in the middle, and he sees Jazz come down, and he sees Russell's like, "Yo, man, you fucking piece of shit, talking shit about me." And it's like, "Yeah, well, so what? What are you gonna do?" He's like, "I'm gonna fucking knock you out." It's like, "You're not gonna knock out shit." And he starts poking Jazz in the eye.
Russell's doing that.
And after that, Kenny Robinson is beside his manager, who's beside me, Catherine. And he's like, "Well, what's going on over there?" And it's like, "They're just having a dispute." And after he's like, "Oh, well, you should stop it before somebody gets hurt. Sometimes these kids gotta talk their own language." And he goes, "What language is that?" And you hear Russell, And he goes, that can. Everybody says I'm lying, but it's true.
I just heard boom, boom. That's
Yeah.
all I heard. I was like, it was on the bottom of the stairs or something.
So this guy's on the floor, but he's holding his Heineken up.
Yeah, he didn't drop it.
And I walk over him and go, look, the Indian Statue of Liberty.
I think that was the beginning of the end of his career, too. Huh?
For sure. Then Kenny runs in and does this. Get up, kid, you're up next. So he's not even there. And then Kenny's like, give it up for Roy Day. Give it up for Roy Day. Now your next comic coming to the stage, he'll knock you out. He goes, give it up for Jazz, man. And Jazz looks like he just got out of bed.
Oh, wow.
Like he's like this, like, where am I?
Didn't he have a cocoa? Didn't he have a
Dude,
welt?
he had from zero mouse. After 15 minutes, his mouth is shut.
Yeah.
The crowd's like, what the fuck's happening to his eye?
The eye was talking.
The eye was talking.
Somebody got hurt real bad. I think you know him.
That's crazy. So Russell Peters just pops him right in the middle of the club, too. Did a lot of people see them? Do they see it?
Like 4 or 5 people that were surrounded. And then Steve jumps in after he's knocked out. But and only us guys.
This shit happens.
This episode of Fight Stories has been brought to you by the good people over at AbsoluteNatureCBD.com, bringing you the very best in all natural, 100% organic CBD oil and CBD oil products. There are no preservatives, additives, colorings, synthetics, or chemicals. No Botox. None of that stuff. If you use the Fight Stories promo code Goon Squad, you save 20%. You save a little bit of money, and you're giving us a bit of a kickback. That's great. Everybody wins. If you're already a CBD oil user, why not give them a shot? Hey, if the stuff you're using now is better, you go back. But I bet you it's not.
So other comedy fights that you guys have seen coming up, is it?
I seen. Okay, that was one. Another one was.
I have a quick one. Did Kitchener Yuck Yucks? It was before they turned it. It was long at one point, and then they turned it sideways. But this one was long and thin. And the headliner, I don't know. You've been around enough. Lou Eisen.
Okay. I was there with you, dude.
Lou Eisen
with the strippers.
He's got me blocked. He's got me blocked on Facebook. I've never met the guy. I don't know why, but that's kind of weird.
I think it was with him. Maybe you were there. Lou Eisen. Some hecklers were going at you. Lou Eisen. Lou Eisen. Like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And then after the lights go on, and then the heckler's waiting to fuck up Lou Eisen, so we had to take him. We had to bring the car around the back, out through the alley, and jump him into the car before the heckler could get.
I was there with Lou when it happened because all the strippers went up for their Christmas party.
Okay, and
then eventually they started crying, and then they started fighting, and then they started heckling Lou, and then they just started scrapping each other. It was just titties and hair and fucking.
Oh fuck!
It was amazing.
Mayhem.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah. That was the weirdest club because it was in the middle of. There was a lot of the KKK. And,
it was sketchy little area on King Street in Kitchener. You come out the corner, they had like a sketchy bar.
Not the one at the Walper though. Right?
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
a lot of.
It got nice after. It started off.
A lot
really
of Nazis
bad.
there too. Like we would be performing and you would see Nazi tattoos on people's necks.
Holy shit!
And they were nice to us. You make them laugh, they're fine, right? But just that's who they were.
Yeah, and after the show, you go up to Little Texas.
Fuck, eh? Yeah, that's. I mean,
well, because when you I don't know how it is when you're white. I wish I did. But when you're brown,
tough.
when you start, it really is fucked up.
A lot of white towns everywhere that you're going.
Outside Toronto,
you're going all white areas.
So I'm with Gavin Stevens, and we're going to Park Hill, which is like north of London. Me, Jason Ross, and Steve Patterson and Gavin.
The original Steve Patterson, singing.
Yeah, not Dylan, right? Yeah. And so we went to his hometown, and then there was a bar, and I went up, and some guy goes, "Yo, man, just go back to your country," and I was laughing, and then I was like, I thought it was a joke, and then some guy goes, "Yeah, get the fuck out of this country, we don't want to," and I was like, what? Like I was like, is this real? Like I really didn't know,
because we take things jokingly because we're comedians, right?
And I'm only used to Toronto. Mm-hmm. And then Gavin was like, I get off, and he's like, yeah, you don't have any comebacks to racists yet, right? I go, what do you have? He's like, yeah, I have like 10. Because you got to have those when you go outside.
Probably
of
need 11.
And I was like, who told you this? He's like, oh, Kenny. Ronnie Edwards, like older comedians. No, you have to have your comebacks for the racism because you got to get that first, and then they respect you, and then you can do your act. You have to do this. You have to fight them first.
You diffuse them,
and make them go, I'm like you, and the racism stops, and then you do your act. And I'm like, I didn't know that I had to have all these comebacks when I had to do all the S's. Susan Marie Sudbury and Sarnia. I had to make sure I had my comebacks because they were good. Even till today, it doesn't happen as obviously unless you go down south. It still happens down south. But when I go, I still feel it. I still feel I have to, but I don't. Because that's why when I started, I saw so much of that. And also, there was fights after the shows. We started really hostile environments, Yak Yaks. It's just you don't know how tough you are until you start playing easy regular rooms. You're like,
this is a cakewalk. But that's what makes you stronger as a comedian. Like,
remember that show you had just recently, maybe like a couple of years ago, and you have to go in the patio. You stand in the patio.
In Mississauga.
I haven't done anything like that for years until I did his show. I'll do anything for $200, right? And it's heckly and distraction, but because I did all that shit for fucking 15 years when I started, that didn't bother me.
Didn't phase me. Because my show is called Cutthroat Comedy because I entertain heckling. It makes you stronger. It makes you...
These days, I would rather just do an easy show. I'm tired of fighting.
This guy got a story, eh? But he was in where you were Windsor, your hometown.
I was at closeout. I did the weekend at the club, and then I had to do this show on Monday. 2 shows at this bar, and the first show went well. The first show actually went really well, but the second show, it was just this girl and her brother and her friend and her brother's boy and girlfriend in the audience, and they were just like. They were just talking. They were constantly showing each other Instagram stories, talking to the comedians, and everyone had to address them every single time. And then I had to go up and do 25 minutes at the end.
This isn't a club because that doesn't happen.
It's just a bar, just a bar, and
it's not what's his name's.
It's not Haddon's.
It's not Josh. Okay.
No, not Josh Haddon's anymore. It's Paul Montañe's show. But I go up and I'm trying to do this, trying to do my set, and like I'm constantly just addressing her. I'm like, and she's just constantly going back and forth with me. And I even bring up the fact, I'm like, you realize that you're ruining the shit. Like even people around her are just saying like, yo, shut the fuck up. Like she's just ruining it for everyone. Yeah. And I'm like, you realize that you are just like, you're the biggest piece of shit in this. You're ruining the show for everyone. And she's like, she didn't
read. She was clueless to it.
Oh, she didn't get. I was like, you realize people paid money to see this show, and she's like, yeah, only $10. And it's like, oh, well, that's not the fucking point. Like people paid money regardless. And she we're just going back and forth, and then she brings up the fact she wants to do television one day. I'm like, yeah, well, I haven't seen a casting call for Stupid Bitch in a while, and so and then I dropped the line a few more times, just like this fall lineup, Stupid Bitch, I have a college degree in opinion, stupid, it just constantly going off, and everyone was it was a good roast, like everyone was laughing about it, everyone was having a good time, but her brother. He kind of lost his shit. He was just I just hear him after I get done that. I just hear him say, "Oh, what the fuck did you just say?" Wow,
like he didn't hear it when you were speaking to the amplified.
So I said, "Well, I just called your sister a stupid bitch," and he's like, "Yeah." Say it again, and this is where I could.
But you couldn't judge his height because you were on a stage, right? Exactly. And that's another thing too. If you don't know his height, you can talk back if you know you can take him, right?
The thing is that I could have apologized at that point. I could have just been like, "Hey, look, man,
crowd wouldn't respect you."
I know exactly, but I stuck to my guns. Like I said, I'm like. He's like, yeah, say it again. And I was like, well, I've already said it so many times. Like, what's more, one we're dropping the bucket. And then I just feel his drink just fucking whiz by my face.
A bottle?
Oh, no, it was a glass. It was like a cocktail kind of bar. And I just feel this drink whiz by my face. And I'm like, you missed. And then he stands up and I'm like, oh, fuck. And he starts just running at me. And all the comedians are shouting. They're like, hey, it's a comedy show. He didn't fucking care.
Was he a big boy?
No, he's a smaller guy. Just like a little, maybe 5 foot, but kind of built,
thick,
and he's trying to. He wasn't big enough to. He was trying to push the tables out of his way, but he wasn't big enough to do that. So he ended up having to walk around.
Oh yeah, the walk of shame.
He was just slowly making his way to me, and no one stops him. And then I see, like, he telegraphs his first punch. He just fucking wheels back and swings. I duck under it, and I get under his arm and just around his neck, and I just bring him down. And I'm thinking,
embarrassing for him, man.
I know, and like as much as I wanted to just beat the shit out of this guy, I'm like, I should probably just restrain him. And so I try to pin his arms to the ground and just wait for people to like get over
come in and break it up.
Yeah, just because I'm like, it's right here. I don't want to get into a fight because if I start hitting this guy and then I lose a chance to get a visa or whatnot, then So I try to pin him, but his right arm just swings out, and he jerseys me, and he punches me 4 times in the ear and scratches the side of my face before everyone gets over to pull him out, and they pull me up. But actually, I do have this one clip with
nice. We'll have to post it. We'll post it on.
That's awesome.
Here, one sec. This is just a little
how did
sound.
You have time? Oh, it's a clip. Okay.
No, it's just an audio
clip. Okay, I was like, how did you type to restrain him and get photo?
Oh no!
Must have really telegraphed that punch.
How did you get audio clip of it?
Oh, I was recording the set, like just the audio.
So it was there. Okay,
and like I don't have the full thing anymore. I cleared out most of my phone, but I turned this into a ringtone because this is the last thing he says after he's leaving. Here, one sec. Let's see if it picks up. But
put it up to the.
Break your fucking face! Hey, I'll break you in two, you fuck!
Can you break someone in two? Like, it's not a stick. It's not wood.
And even like his sister and her friends, and they're like, we did nothing wrong. Like, why are they being like this? And it's like, you gotta pay your fucking tab. Get the fuck out of here.
It's crazy how fast things happen, though.
Oh yeah,
escalated.
And people are so unaware. They're also like people like that. They're just
Oh yeah, they don't.
So self-centered. They don't care what's happening around them.
Oh no, and like Windsor, that's the Windsor mentality.
Some of the rowdiest
that kind of
shows.
shit happens so often.
Some of the rowdiest shows I've ever done were in Windsor. Like I thought for sure I was fighting. Like just
for sure. I went home and visited I was in town for maybe 2 hours. And I've met my friends at this bar, and I buy a pitcher. Me and my wife, we buy a pitcher. We set our pack of smokes on the table, and this couple just starts going around the bar, just pouring themselves drinks out of people's pitchers. And like they get to our table, she starts talking to my wife, and then my wife sees that she's stealing smokes out of my pack, and she's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And her boyfriend comes over. He's like, "Oh, what? We got a fucking problem over here?" And it's like, "Yeah, you guys are drinking our beer. You're smoking our smoke. What the fuck are you talking about? Yes, we have a problem. Get the fuck out of here." Yeah. And he's like, "Do we got a problem?" And so we end up having to go outside. And then he sees that I stand up, and he's a small, wiry, fucking crackhead kind of guy. He doesn't want to do it when we get outside, but.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember Dan Dunn?
Yeah.
Dan. They used to have a comedy night downtown Peel Pub.
And
it was a stand. It was a open mic kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
And I never met Dan, a little comedian. I was eating my poutine, and Dan was. I think I was up next or something. And Dan comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, you gonna finish that?" I didn't know who he was. I go, "Oh," and he just starts going to town on my poutine with my fork. I'm like, Jesus, was I brought up wrong?
Oh my God. Yeah.
I was in Australia. So they have an open mic. It's cool. People pay actually money to go to open mics, and there's 100 people, and I'm closing the first half. And the girl who hosts, who runs it, she's looking at me and she's flashing me. I'm like, I'm supposed to be 20. It's only at 10. I'm like, okay, you guys take a 20-minute break. I'll get off. And I go, why are you getting me off? He was like, there's a guy outside who's knocking out all the comedians.
Oh shit!
Whoa. So he was on cocaine, and he was like built like this guy was muscle.
Yeah, sure. It's cocaine or meth. Cocaine really won't make you that angry. Like meth will fucking.
Wow. Well, someone knows.
Someone's done their homework.
No, I've seen meth addicts, and I've seen.
Well, this guy was on something, right? Yeah. And so I go, I can't even open the door because this is a guy that's knocked out. So I keep pushing, and I see a foot.
Oh, what?
And I'm like, what? And I see he's running in circles. And there's like 5 or 6 comedians just trying to hit him and run. They're not fighters.
Comics are most comics aren't fighters.
Yeah, and these guys are alt comics.
Okay, yeah. so they're not even comics.
No, they're just nerdy. They're just all nerdy, right? And then so what happened was
one drunk guy versus how many alt comics?
It was like
that's a fun
30.
game.
It reminded me of Neo versus the 1,000 Agents.
Fox in the hen house. Just fucking shit
And then
up.
after this guy across the street tries to
Thrones
tackle
walking
the
the
big
night,
guy,
really
right?
building.
And they're rolling, and then the big guy gets up and he starts he's knocking out the other guy, and I'm like, oh fuck! So I jump, I grab him, and I put him. He's on his back, my knee is on his stomach, holding him, and he's trying to punch my face the whole time. Everybody, I don't even have a video of this, but nobody's doing anything. They're just videotaping it.
Yeah.
And my manager was like, Ron, don't hit him. You'll go to jail. You have to just hold him.
Yeah.
Like, she was just like, I know this.
Your belt. You have a belt too, right? So you're
I was doing jiu-jitsu for years.
Yeah.
I was never...
So you're actually considered a legal weapon your hair has.
I don't know about that, but I know I'm at least, like... I'm not a black belt or no brown belt, but I remember I could roll high up there, right? But anyways, this guy's... Again, the hoist Gracie move was if you hold the guy in the street, wait for the police, or just you have to hold his arm behind his neck. So he was on his back like this, and my knee's on his stomach, so he can't get up. And he's trying to buck me, but that's the whole drill of the school. Do that, and whoever gets off, you have to switch.
Yeah.
We've done this for years, and so I was like, "Oh my god, it's like the move." It all came back to real life shit. And then two cops come out, and they don't have guns; they have billy clubs, and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing there?" I'm like, it's just I'm holding him. He's like, is that like jiu-jitsu or judo? I'm like, why don't you guys help me? And after he was like, okay, let him go. I'm like, well, you know what? This guy's just flaying us. This is going to start punching, man. I get up and he just starts wailing at the cops. Cops, boom on the head. Fucking, he's like, do it again. He's 3 shots. He's out.
Oh yeah.
And they tie him up like a hog tie.
Yeah.
They bring him to the fucking
in Australia.
Yeah. And then they're like, all right. I go, if this is my first day, I'm fucked for the rest of this fucking month, you know?
Yeah, no shit.
But I mean, I think...
Where were you, in Brisbane?
That was Sydney.
My son just got back from Australia, and he said to me, I go, how was it? He goes, Dad, it's like Canada without the
like
black
that.
people. So it's great. Canada with no black.
What a great country.
Have you been there?
No, I've never been to
What's his
Australia.
name? You been there? Yeah. I would love to check it out. What's his name's always going there? O'Gorman. He goes
Gorman
2
goes
3
there.
months of the year.
Yeah, he goes there all the time.
Yeah. Did you ever, I think it was the Gilson, I think he did it on stage, or you ever heard the Gilson story where he was playing video games, smoking some weed with some friends, and he passed out?
No.
And they thought he died, so they didn't know what to do, so they put him in the alley and tried to figure out what to do, but they were smoking so much weed that they kept playing video games. And Gilson wakes up and he's banging the door and like, oh shit, it's the cops. We should call the ambulance. And it's like, it was me. He goes, oh, we thought you died. He's like, well, so you put me in the alley?
When was this?
This was about 4 or 5 years ago.
So you put me in
told
the alley.
story, yeah.
Oh my god,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The there's a story that I heard about you and this is I'm totally segueing Byron Allen style, the Comics Unleashed. Just said you got a story about a heckler. It's a little bit different than the other stories that we were talking about. You got the ultimate revenge.
Oh, I got a BJ.
Elaborate.
From a heckler?
What happened was it was me, JP, and Andrew Albert. It was Moncton Yuck Yucks.
Nice.
I was the host. Andrew Albert was the middle. JP was the headliner. I got on stage. A couple walked in. I'm about 5-7 minutes in the set. We're actually friends still on Facebook. His name is Joel and her name's Odessa. And I said, Joel, you guys are late. Can you keep it down? Is that your girlfriend? He goes, yeah, we're on a first date or second date or whatever. So I'm talking some more to the crowd, and then he wouldn't shut up. I'm like, dude, did you just do a line of cocaine or something? So I took the microphone and I went across the stage, and he's like, so I knew right away. He goes, holy fuck, this guy's funny. So I got their attention. So I did a couple more jokes, and I said to him, listen, I'm going to bring a buddy up on stage, the first act. You could talk when I come back, but don't interrupt him. He's the middle act. I leave. Back then, we have a room in the hotel, so don't want to go get my vodka upstairs.
Yeah, it's in the same as the club. The club's in the basement.
So I get to my elevator. His chickie was going to the bathroom. She's like, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm just going to my room to get some vodka." She goes, "Oh, I like vodka." I'm like, "Yeah." So she jumps in the elevator. I'm looking at her. She's looking at me. I go, "Have you ever had? Do you like cock?" She goes, "Yeah." I go, "You ever had black cock?" She's like, "No. What's the difference?" I go, "It's the same, just a little chocolatey." We get into my room, right? And we pour a couple shots. Fucking, next thing you know, fucking, she going to town on my fucking cock. I'm like, fuck. And I want to turn around. You get good head, you want to bang, right?
Yeah.
But she said, oh, I'm on my period. I'm like, okay, we'll talk about this later. I said, shit, my buddy's only doing about 15. So, we jump back in the elevator. You come back down. Remember Buckton Yuck Yucks? I cut through the kitchen to get to the back of the stage. She goes back around. I get back, and Andrew had about 3-4 minutes left, but he's coming off. I'm like, what's wrong? He goes, that guy in the front, he told you to shut up. He won't shut the fuck up. So I go, well, his girl just gave me a BJ, and Andrew goes, that's what hecklers get. So, and he reminded me this part of the story. I got back, Joel, what's wrong? He goes, that guy just did a joke about why does a guy in a wheelchair need brand new shoes, shopping for shoes or something, and I have a friend in a wheelchair and blah blah blah. I'm like, just keep quiet. We'll get over this together. Give your girl a kiss. Wow. I totally forgot about that part. Andrew reminded
You should have said that. You should have told him that she gave you a blowjob if he wasn't fucking.
No. You just met him. You're a white guy in Moncton, man.
Yeah,
We're bikers. That could have been my last joke, bro.
Yeah.
Oh,
You have to know your surroundings. My very first experience with racism was I was 5 years in. I was doing the Trenton Yuck Yucks. You know, it's in the hotel, in the motel with the big airplane outside.
Yeah.
I'm hosting the gig, and one of my jokes, I still do it once in a while. I go, hey, so where are all the brothers in Trenton? This white guy in the front row looks up, didn't flinch. We got rid of them all.
Jesus.
So sweat started coming down my back again, and like he said, I didn't have
Trend a lot like Australia.
Yeah. So I didn't have anything, as Sonny would say, Sonny Dollywall. You have to have it right here, right? Didn't have it yet. I'm only about 4 or 5 years in, and so I'm like, I'm walking. I'm like, oh, okay. So how's everything else going? Like I totally wouldn't even make eye contact with him. Everybody around him was like,
did you address it at all?
I didn't say anything. I was like, because I never directly. I thought it was a joke at first, and I looked at him. He's like straight face, like, yeah. So I left it alone. I started my next 4 or 5 words. Brought up the middle act. I come back on stage now. Buddy's gone, so I look around and make sure. I go, where did he go? Where did the racist dude go? And I look around first. I make sure he's gone. I go, he had to probably leave early. It's a long walk back to the trailer park, right? So I got the crowd into it, and then I addressed. I said, listen, I know some white people are afraid of black guys because we have guns, and you read in the newspaper we're shooting up the place. But can I tell you the truth? We're more afraid of you guys because you guys have ropes, and a rope burn hurts way more than a gunshot. Applause break. Bam, 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 bam. And that was it. That was my first
nice
experience.
Just dealing with that is.
And now let's go full circle. About 2 months ago, there's a comic, Alex Wood's girlfriend, Jewish girl, Laura.
Yep.
She was middling for me and Andrew out in the S place, Sault Ste. Marie or Sudbury. I think it was Sault Ste. Marie. And she got on stage. I didn't hear this, but it rocked her. She goes, her opening joke was, oh, you had a black guy, now you got a Jew. And some guy must have went boo and would just stare at her the whole time. It just threw her whole set off. Mm-hmm. So she has to 20. About 7 minutes in, Andrew comes, said, get ready to go back on. I'm like, what? It's only 7 minutes. She's got to do her time. I didn't know she was rocked. She said after, because, they asked us what happened. I said, I didn't hear anything. She said that, she said black. She goes, yeah, there's a black guy. And the guy's like, boo. And I would have said, I go with my experience, I would have said, what are you booing for, the black or the Jew? You'd probably hate Sammy Davis Jr. I would have been able to deal with it.
You have the chops at the time.
But it rocked her. And she said that he was saying anti-Semitic remarks. I didn't hear anything, but I understand what she went through because you could throw your whole rest of your set off if you don't have that experience. So she barreled through. She did her 20 almost. She got about 15, and then she closed on some joke. She goes, "You guys are gonna love this one," but it was like she went into like a Amber Alert joke. And Amber Alert was just called like maybe a week earlier. I was like, no. No. And that's why you can't buy experience. You need to be able to change gears at some point.
Talking on experience, like just as Like I
How many years have you been doing it?
I've only been at it for 4 years now, but I started out in Windsor and then Detroit. I would do a lot, and we'd drive. We'd carpool with like me and like one or two other comics, and we did this gig out in Southfield, and it's like that type of bar where we had to like buzz in, and they'd look through the cameras, make sure we're not going to be causing any trouble, and then they'd buzz us in. Like it was very like
cross that river. It's a different world.
Oh yeah, it's
very Channel 7
very,
news.
Very tense. And like all black audience. They had a DJ that had like it was maybe a bar that was this size of this room, and they had speakers that were like for like event speakers, like huge. And I go up, I do 10 minutes. It goes fine, but then my friend Scott, and he's a very weird comic. Scott Gunn, he's a very odd alt comic in Windsor, but
IG stories.
Yeah, what's up? So he does this joke that he'd been working on. I can't even remember how it goes, but he has this line in there. He's like, so I eat chicken, I'm just like you guys, and then it just pauses. And then it goes for that half beat too long, and then he's off. He's totally off, and he starts developing this nervous tic where he just keeps saying chicken.
It's like the CD keeps skipping.
It was just, and I'm just like, oh fuck. I'm like, we gotta get out of here. The producer comes around. He's like, yo, you guys driving? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, all right, you gonna go at the back? You bring the car around. I'm gonna have him come out and follow you as soon as he's off. And I'm like, okay, dude. And we fucking get the fuck out of there. Oh man, just the experience of trying a joke that he doesn't know if it's gonna work, and then
it's a black room also.
Oh yeah,
sure.
Oh man,
yeah, it's a different beat in the black room, and if you're not confident with it,
it's like but that's what all the white comics get for for getting it on Easy Street, going into all the small town white towns, where you guys get all that shit.
Yeah.
You know what? If I find that too, like, you get all these fucking beefs with people, and after 20, 15 years, you're not going to fuck. Like, who gives a shit?
You see that guy's still doing comedy, and you're still doing comedy. You look at each other like, all right.
We're still fucking surviving,
Yeah.
And,
I can respect that.
And going to the States now, when I come back twice a year, when I go June and December, I miss everybody so much that I'm like hugging everybody because I grew up with these guys. And I even the people I had beef with, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. My very first Nubian show.
Oh yeah,
I went on.
Russell heckled you on the back.
This is what happened. My very first. I think Russell did heckle me, but I got off stage because girls are like, "Oh my god, he's so cute," and they're like, "Ah." I get off stage.
Okay, relax, but you have to say that.
And I was in the back room, and this black guy, I heard him talking. He goes, yeah, that guy, he's not gonna last. He's just good looking. He's not gonna last. And I look back, and now he's not around. He's Mr. Mo. Him and Darren had Buzz, the show Buzz.
Yeah, I remember Buzz.
I go, who's not lasting now, motherfucker? So, and I remember him. He got booed off like a couple of Nubian nights later, and he goes, what? He goes to the crowd. He goes, what are you, a gunman? What are you, a gunman? You fucking have your hand up there? What are you, a gunman? So when I got on stage after, I go, he got booed right after that, and I go, hey, I just want to address something. I'm from Montreal, and the last comic that was up here is asking if somebody was heckling him, if they're a gunman. I go, if this was Montreal and you asked the crowd, are you a gunman? If the answer is yes, you hear, you just hear, and I got the crowd right off the bat, right like that. Yeah, Nubian shows were going. Kenny went to twice a month, and they were just booing off everybody, man.
Oh fuck! How do you think I do?
You would do well because you're real. You wouldn't try to sugarcoat your jokes.
And they kind of like
black people smell. It's a little easier now.
Those crowds like a good burn too, right?
They smell. If they smell blood, you're fucked.
Oh yeah. My friend of mine, he recently got booed off there.
In the Nubian show?
Yeah.
They're back to booing.
Yeah, it was.
I don't want to say no names, but.
It was,
also, this is not on the podcast anyway.
We'll edit a bunch of shit down.
Okay, is a good friend of mine, and we write sketches together.
Was a good friend of yours.
Oh no! The thing is I realized how much I cared.
Kenny, who got him on though? Kenny put him on. Kenny doesn't put anybody else.
I know,
a white guy.
I know. No. He was a black guy. Him and I, we write sketches together, and I realized that I cared about him because it hurt me as he was getting booed off. Like he just
booed by that big of a crowd would feel fucking crazy.
He just went right into material, didn't even address the audience, didn't say he was just right into material, and it just never connected with them.
Yeah.
and it was every joke, every punchline, he was rushing it. It was going over their heads. And then I just hear at one boo at the back, and then it's just
builds.
It's slowly, like maybe 2 minutes later.
So bad.
2 minutes later, it's just like boo, get the fuck up! It just started building. The guy, the DJ, starts doing a record scratch, starts the music up.
Oh no!
And he's like, it is. You see just the like some tears forming in his head. He's like, what am I supposed to do my set like this? They're like, get the fuck up the stage.
My favorite boo in history is Rasul Samji.
Oh my God, the pigeon.
Oh, Rasul.
Get to the pigeon joke.
So he goes up first time, right? And so he's on stage, like he's doing his act, and they boo him, right?
Yeah.
And he I never seen this before. He stopped the boo. He's like, he called the crowd guy first of all. He's like,
Yeah.
he was like, yo guy. He called the crowd guy. Yo guy. Stop booing. I just took a bus here from Markham. They all start laughing, and they give him a shot. They're like, okay, that was funny. And then he looks at all the comics on the side like, He tries again. It's not working. I never seen this in my life. From the side of the crowd, I saw everybody's chest like a choir inhale. And Rasul did something that was so funny. His time, because in his head he thought you have to stay there for your time. He had 10 minutes.
Or something.
He didn't. He was like, this is like 2 minutes in. He didn't leave. He just started running in a circle. And he started yelling out, Kenny! 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 So Kenny's beside me in the bar. He's like, look at him. I go, he's yelling your name. Why don't you go? He's like, no, I'm going to see him and keep yelling for a little bit more. He goes, it reminds me of a kid I saw at the exhibition, see him stuck in a ride, yelling for his dad. Daddy! Daddy! And he was running a circle going, Kenny! Kenny! And finally Kenny goes up and he goes, come on, one more time for Russell. We took a bus from Markham, guy. So Russell hides behind my leg like it's a mother's leg. You know when you're embarrassed as a kid, you hide behind your mom's leg. He's behind my leg. Oh, get up, you fucking loser. And then Kenny walks off the stage, brings up Roy Day, because Roy Day is the best at going after booze. And so he gets off the stage. And
this was Downtown Club. This wasn't
downtown.
Young and
Eglinton.
Oh, Young and Eglinton. Yeah.
And then
that's when they were booing everybody. Kenny, they tried to boo Kenny. You can't boo me.
Remember that?
I own this show. The show's over if you boo me. Are you guys stupid?
Yeah. And then he sees Lou Eisen give Kenny $50. And it's like, Mr. Lou Eisen, why did you give Kenny $50? I'm just asking. And Kenny goes, because he bet me that you get booed off after him, man. But I bet him that you be booed off before him, man. And he goes, nobody bet that I wouldn't get booed off? No, we knew you'd get booed off. It was just the amount of time when. And he had that face that Ralphie had when he found that Lisa didn't like them from The Simpsons. Yeah. And his heart broke. And he just like, crack.
That was Rasul?
Rasul from the Nubian show.
Robinson got booed too. Remember when he was starting out?
Who?
Chris Robinson.
I never seen that.
Yeah, when he first started out,
What
he
happened?
got booed there, and but he was just, he didn't know how to connect to them, and then he came back. It made him stronger as a comic. Yeah.
Oh, he's a weapon.
Yeah.
I got half booed when I first. I got booed 5 times in my career.
Anthony Henkelbar got booed.
You ever get booed before?
They tried to come at me, and in the two shows, I wasn't supposed to be on the show. And they brought me up because everybody's getting booed off. And somebody screamed out, Batiman! So I let it go. And so I went and did another joke. And then he screamed, I go, yo, Batiman! I go, why don't you ask your girl for my Batiman? I got laughs. And then they let me do a few more jokes. And they go, Batiman! I'm like, yo, I'm not dealing with this anymore. I go, people are born with 2 fears. The fear of loud noises and the fear of falling. I go, every other fear we develop in our head. So you're obviously fear of Batiman. I go, is this what you're afraid of? And I get it, pull the pants out, dropped the mic, walked off.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah. That's fucking
Once you're not afraid of them, you could deal with it. You know what I mean?
Fuck, boys, that was great. I think that's a good end point for this.
That was 2.5 hours.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. Thank you so much for coming in, guys. We got Cedric Newman, Max Sheldrick, and Mr. Ron Josol. You're listening to Fight Stories. I'm Tyler Morrison. Keep checking out the podcast. You can check us out on iTunes and all the other podcast platforms, Laughable app, on YouTube, our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to all that shit and leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. And also our Patreon. Keep supporting Patreon, guys. There's going to be a whole bunch of bonus content Patreon on there, and you can get Fight Stories swag. It's patreon.com/Fight Stories. Everything that we make from that goes right back into the podcast, so we can keep bringing you amazing episodes. And big thanks to Phil and Humble and Fred for having us in their studio again, guys.
Yeah. Guys, thanks for listening to Fight Stories. We are having a great time making this podcast. We're getting some great guests, and the feedback has been awesome. If you want to support the show, you can do it in two ways. Way number one, money. We're on Patreon now, so check out Fight Stories. Anything we get, we're pumping right back into the podcast. We're trying to get bigger, better, and better. Secondly, continue to subscribe and share, and please rate the podcast on iTunes.
This one is the line he wants to hear your Fight Story so well.
You hear that, Ryan? We appreciate you. We're on Instagram at Fight Stories Podcast, on Twitter at Fight Stories Pod, and on Facebook, just plug in Fight Stories. Our ugly mugs are going to pop up. Support the fights. Fuck the arts.
My dad needs some money.